My best friend fed me 3,000 calories a day to make me the fat friend in her wedding photos. I gripped the sides of the porcelain sink until my knuckles turned a ghostly white, staring at the reflection of a woman I didn't recognize. My face was puffy, my eyes underlined with dark, bruised-looking circles, and my skin had a strange, greyish pallor that no amount of expensive Sephora highlighter could fix. Behind me, draped over a velvet chair like a mocking ghost, was my $800 custom silk bridesmaid gown. The zipper was currently stuck halfway up my ribs, refusing to budge another millimeter without tearing the delicate fabric to shreds. "Gracelyn, are you coming? The HIIT circuit starts in 3 minutes." Madison's voice trilled from the living room, sharp and demanding. It wasn't an invitation, it was a summons. I sucked in my stomach until it hurt, trying to force the air out of my lungs to make myself smaller, but it was no use. I was a marathon runner. I'd spent a decade maintaining a lean, athletic frame that could carry me 26 miles without a complaint. But in the last 8 weeks, I'd gained 12 pounds. My thighs chafed. My sports bras felt like medieval torture devices. And every time I brought it up, Madison would just tilt her head, pout her perfectly filled lips, and tell me I must be stress-eating behind her back. I walked out into her pristine, white oak living room. The 4 other bridesmaids, Sarah, Chloe, Jada, and Mia, were already there, looking just as miserable as I felt. We were all swaying on our feet, clad in matching team bride spandex that was clearly getting too tight for everyone. "You guys look sluggish," Madison said, her eyes scanning us like a drill sergeant inspecting a line of defective recruits. She looked radiant, of course. She was leaner than ever, her skin glowing with that fake, tan from a bottle sheen she curated for her 250,000 followers. "We have the Pure Radiance photo shoot in 3 days. If you want to fit into those dresses, you need to push harder. No more excuses. No more secret snacks. If I can do it, you can do it." "Madison, I'm not eating anything except what you give us," Sarah wheezed, her hand on her side. "I'm exhausted. I fell asleep at my desk twice yesterday. My doctor says my blood sugar is all over the place." Madison's face hardened. The mask of the supportive best friend slipped for a fraction of a second, revealing something cold and calculating underneath. "Then you aren't trying hard enough, Sarah. Maybe you should rethink how much you value this friendship. My wedding is a brand activation. It's my career. Do you really want to be the one who ruins the aesthetic because you couldn't control your cravings?" We spent the next hour in hell. Madison pushed us through a grueling high-intensity workout that felt more like a punishment than a fitness routine. My heart hammered against my ribs, and my vision blurred at the edges. When it was over, we were all collapsed on the floor, gasping for air. "Great job, ladies," Madison chirped, suddenly the fit SPO queen again. "Time for your rewards. The lean and green detox. My signature blend. It'll flush out all those toxins you've been hoarding." She went to the kitchen, the blender humming. Minutes later, she returned with 5 green smoothies. Mine tasted sweet but had a chalky aftertaste. Hungry, I drank it anyway, my body craving real nourishment. The next morning, the bridesmaid boot camp was scheduled for 6 a.m. again. I arrived early, my stomach churning with a familiar, heavy bloating. Madison was in the shower, her music blaring through the glass door. I let myself in with the spare key she'd given me for wedding emergencies. I went to the kitchen to find a trash bag. I'd finished a protein bar in the car, a real one, not her detox crap, and I wanted to hide the evidence before she could shame me for it. I opened the walk-in pantry, scanning the shelves for the box of liners. That's when I saw it. The pantry was perfectly organized, a minimalist's dream, but near the back, under a stack of decorative crates, a floorboard looked off. It was slightly raised, the shadow around it too deep. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was the brain fog, or maybe it was a gut instinct I'd been suppressing for months. I knelt down and pulled at the edge of the wood. It popped up easily. Hidden in the crawl space beneath the floor were 4 massive, industrial-sized tubs. They were black and neon orange, looking like something you'd find in a high-voltage power plant. I pulled one out, my heart starting to race. Titan Bulk 4000, Extreme Mass Gainer. I turned the tub around, my eyes scanning the nutritional label. Each serving contained 1,500 calories, 250 grams of carbs, 60 grams of sugar. Designed for hard gainers and heavyweight bodybuilders to pack on maximum size in minimum time, the label boasted. I felt the heat rising in my neck, a slow, crawling burn that turned into a roar in my ears. She wasn't giving us lean and green detox shakes. She was blending 2 massive scoops of this sludge into every single drink. She was forcing us to consume nearly 3,000 extra calories a day on top of our regular meals, masked by the color of spinach and the sweetness of frozen fruit. "Gracelyn?" I jumped, nearly dropping the tub back into the hole. Madison was standing in the pantry doorway, wrapped in a fluffy white robe, her hair dripping wet. She didn't look shocked. She didn't look guilty. She looked annoyed. annoyed. "What are you doing in here?" she hissed, her voice dropping to a dangerous, low register. "What is this, Madison?" I stood up, holding the Titan bulk tub like a weapon. "Why is this under your floor? Why are we all gaining weight while you're getting skinnier?" She stepped into the pantry, closing the door behind her. The space felt tiny, suffocating. "It's for the wedding, Grace. You wouldn't understand the pressure I'm under. I have a brand to protect." "A brand? You're poisoning us. You're sabotaging our health. Sarah is literally sick because of this," I screamed, my voice cracking with the sheer weight of the betrayal. "I'm not poisoning anyone," she snapped, her eyes narrowing into slits. "I'm ensuring the after photos are spectacular. You're all so average. If you're a little softer in the wedding photos, the transformation I reveal afterward will be all the more miraculous. It's marketing. Now, put that back and get ready for the workout. We have a schedule to keep." I pushed past her, my vision blurry with a rage so intense I thought I might actually black out. I didn't go to the living room. I went to the kitchen counter where her wedding content calendar, a massive, leather-bound planner, was splayed open. I flipped through the pages, my hands shaking so hard I could barely grip the paper. I found the tab marked sponsorships. There it was, a signed contract with Lipothin Solutions. The terms were laid out in cold, clinical font. A $40,000 payout upon the successful launch of her Bridesmaid Recovery campaign. Madison was to provide authentic, high-contrast before and after photos of 5 subjects. The contract specifically mentioned that the subjects should appear unhealthy, bloated, and lethargic in the initial phase to maximize the perceived efficacy of the supplement. Wait, it gets worse. I turned the page to the wedding day schedule. There was a sticky note attached to the 8 a.m. slot, wedding morning juice. Below it, a list of ingredients. It looked like her usual smoothie, but at the bottom, written in her neat, looping cursive, was the word magnesium citrate followed by 3x dose. Magnesium citrate is an industrial-strength laxative. She wasn't just making us gain weight. She was planning to purge us on the morning of her wedding. She wanted us pale, sickly, and confined to the bathroom stalls for the entire reception. She wanted to be the only one standing, the only one glowing, the only one capable of dancing, while her best friend suffered through a medical emergency she had engineered for a paycheck. I heard her footsteps behind me. "Gracelyn, give me that book. Right now." I turned around, the planner clutched to my chest. "You're a monster, Maddie. A literal monster." "I'm a businesswoman," she screamed, her face contorting into something hideous. "You think these followers come for free? You think this wedding is paid for by love? I'm building an empire. You should be happy to help me. What are a few pounds compared to my future?" "Your future is over," I whispered. I didn't argue anymore. I didn't cry. I didn't even yell. I walked out of that house, but I didn't go home. I went to Sarah's house, then Chloe's, then Jada's. We sat in a circle on Sarah's living room floor, and I showed them the photos I'd taken of the pantry, the tubs, and the contract. The silence in the room was heavy, thick with the sound of hearts breaking. Jada was the first to speak. "She was going to give us laxatives? On her wedding day?" "She already has been," Sarah said, her voice hollow. "That's why we've all been so lightheaded. Our bodies are fighting the mass gainer and the constant workouts. She's been cycling us. We aren't just canceling," I said, a cold, sharp plan forming in my mind. "We're going to give her exactly what she wanted. A brand activation she'll never forget." For the next 24 hours, we worked. I'm a runner, but I'm also a digital marketing specialist. I know how the game is played. I edited the footage I'd captured, the shaky video of the hidden floorboard, the close-ups of the Titan bulk labels, the clear shots of the Lipothin contract with Madison's signature. I overlaid it with the shaming text she'd sent us in the group chat, where she called us lazy and undisciplined for gaining weight. I titled the video, "The Secret Ingredient in the Lean and Green Detox: How My Best Friend Sabotaged My Body for a $40,000 Paycheck." I didn't just post it to my private story. I tagged the sponsor. I tagged the wedding venue. I tagged every FitSPO aggregate account on Instagram and TikTok. And then, I sent it directly to the Team Bride group chat with one final message: "Check the tags, Maddie. Your before photo just went live." The fallout was instantaneous and scorched earth. Within 2 hours, Lipothin Solutions issued a public statement. They were horrified by the unauthorized and unethical methods used by their partner and were terminating the contract immediately. They even hinted at a lawsuit for brand damage. The comments section on Madison's latest post, a photo of her looking snatched in her wedding heels, turned into a graveyard. Thousands of people were calling her a poisoner, a fake, and a narcissist. Her follower count started dropping by the thousands every hour. It was a digital bloodletting. The next morning, the morning of the bridesmaid boot camp, the 5 of us didn't show up in spandex. We showed up in our street clothes. We walked up to her front door and rang the bell. When Madison opened it, she looked like she'd aged 10 years. Her eyes were bloodshot, her hair was a bird's nest, and she was clutching her phone like a rosary. "You ruined me," she rasped, her voice trembling. "You ruined everything. The wedding is off. Mark saw the video. He says he doesn't know who I am anymore. He moved out last night." I looked at her, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel bloated. I felt powerful. "We didn't ruin you, Madison," I said, my voice steady and cold. "We just showed the world who you actually are. You did the rest." Chloe stepped forward and dropped a heavy garment bag at Madison's feet. Then Sarah, then Jada, then Mia, then me. 5 $800 silk dresses hit the porch in a heap of useless, shimmering fabric. "What is this?" Madison asked, looking down at the pile. "A gift," I said. "Along with this." I handed her a thick envelope. Inside was a formal demand for payment from a lawyer Chloe's father put us in touch with. It outlined the cost of the gowns, the cost of the medical consultations we'd all had to check our liver and kidney function after being force-fed supplements, and a stern warning about a potential civil suit for personal injury. "I don't have this money," she screamed as we turned to walk away. "The sponsors dropped me. I'm broke." I paused at the end of the driveway, looking back one last time. "Maybe you can sell the mass gainer. I hear bodybuilders pay top dollar for the good stuff." As we piled into Sarah's car, the atmosphere was lighter than it had been in years. We drove straight to a high-end spa 3 towns over. We spent the day in plush robes, getting lymphatic drainage massages and facials to help with the swelling. Around 2 p.m., the waiter brought over a tray of refreshments. "Here are your smoothies, ladies," he said with a polite smile. "Freshly pressed kale, apple, and ginger. No additives." We all froze, looking at the vibrant green liquid in the glasses. Then, Mia started to laugh. Then Sarah joined in. Within seconds, we were all howling, tears of actual joy streaming down our faces. We clinked our glasses together, real glass, not plastic shakers, and drank. Madison is still trying to pivot. She tried to make a tearful apology video, but she made the mistake of wearing a $3,000 necklace in it, and the internet tore her apart again. She's currently taking a break from social media, which is influencer speak for "nobody will hire me and I'm hiding from my creditors." My weight is finally starting to stabilize. The bloating is gone, and I'm back to my morning runs, not because a drill sergeant is screaming at me, but because I love the way the wind feels against my face. The silk dress is still sitting in a box in the back of my closet. I'm thinking about burning it, or maybe donating it to a theater troupe that needs a costume for a villain. So, tell me, when someone treats their best friends like props in a marketing campaign, do they deserve a graceful exit? Or did I do the right thing by burning her empire to the ground before she could finish the job?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.